Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the interviews. It's your host Aiden, and we're back with the Watanagashi interrogation with Bull Racer, aka Jack. Did I'm just going to
It's
call him
me.
Jack? Yeah,
It's me, Volt Racer, aka Jack. And it's okay. All of you guys can call me Jack if you want.
yeah. Jack's easier to say.
It is. Volt Racer's kind of a mouthful.
And he has been streaming Hidarashi on kick.com/volracer, and he has not uploaded the YouTube VODs.
Yeah, and if when I do upload the YouTube VODs, uh, they're not gonna include a lot of the video.
I mean, I think you're at the points where they're just like deleting as you stream more, so you
Oh
should
no,
like.
yeah, I checked. The first one's gone. That was Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, one of the three of last week. So I need to get on it.
Yeah, at least before your next stream, I think if you don't want to erase
Yeah.
the next
I'll
one.
try I'll try contacting Kick support, see if I can recover them.
Yeah, I don't know if Kit, because I'm not streaming at the moment because I was having trouble setting it up there. But I don't know if you can just download the VODs. Because last time I tried, I needed to get
I
like
looked
some.
yeah, I looked it up. It's like a really complex thing, apparently, which I'm not.
It's not. It's actually not that complex. It's just this extension, and then you just click on your VOD, and then it detects it, and you download it.
Well,
It
alright.
it's
Well, that's
harder.
pretty.
Definitely harder than YouTube's, where you just have an option
Yeah,
that
we
says
just.
download.
Yeah, and plus YouTube already uploads to YouTube automatically, so that's even easier.
That yeah, that too.
Maybe I'll switch to YouTube. I actually found out I actually can stream on YouTube. I just am not.
I feel
Um,
I feel like if you actually wanna like have more viewers, it's definitely a better way than
yeah, I'll
Twitch.
probably start on YouTube, but only after I upload everything because I want things to be in order.
Okay,
You know,
yeah, that's fair.
so like it'll be another couple months.
Another couple months.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Because someone did say also they didn't know like how to contact you, and I guess I'm just saying like I don't know, just go
contact.
to his.
Oh,
Alright,
don't you
that's
have a?
like
Didn't you put
yeah.
a link? Contact me.
I mean,
Like
I just mean like comment, leave a comment directly to you, which I mean I will, I guess, by proxy, but
my contact this man. What's his email address?
but yeah, you can just like I don't, honestly, you can just like leave a message in his kit
Yeah,
chat because it just doesn't delete. So
yeah. I
even if you leave it like days before, he'll see it
yeah.
eventually.
I don't. I, I guess I could just not watch the video, hop in the comments section real quick. Try
I
my
mean,
number, you know.
yeah, quit little tall. Okay, yeah, but yeah, same cast. We did record an Onikakushi episode. You can check that out. Um, and yeah, basically, Jat's a new reader to Higurashi. He didn't know anything really before going into it, and we're just seeing does he know anything now that he's into it.
So true. Do I? We'll find out.
Do you? Okay, so just
I
some
know at
basic.
least up to the end of Watanagashi.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. That's 1/4. Yeah, 1/4 done, right?
Oh wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
1/4.
a fourth, yeah, man, that's crazy.
All right, so just some basic stuff. How do you like this chapter compared to the last one?
I've been thinking about that a lot actually.
Mm.
Um, the first chapter had higher highs but lower lows.
Higher
This one was a
highs, but
lot more consistent. I love the second half of the first chapter.
mm.
And it might just be because I wasn't expecting it, but that scared the heck out of me. On the
Yeah,
other hand, the first half, by like chapter 5, I was like, all right, I get it. We play a game, there's a chapter break, and then we go to the dumpster or whatever. And I was getting a little bit like, okay, something better happens soon, you know. So it kind of got a bit grating. But whereas
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one, I felt that the games, which I enjoyed the games, it's just there were a lot of them in the first chapter. But in the end, it kind of added to the second half's horror elements. So I'm not saying it was bad. I just, you know.
Yeah.
On the other hand, this one's games were a lot more acceptable because there's fewer of them, and we spent a lot more time developing the newer characters and the older ones. I liked to see the development Rena and Mion both got from the previous game, where I just kind of felt like they were like Keiichi's friends, and like I guess Rena had a crush on him, but everything felt, all their characterization felt like it was done in relation to Keiichi, whereas in this one I feel like they're a lot more well-rounded. Um, so yeah, it's tough to say which one I like more. I think as a single experience, I like the first one more, but I think ultimately, depending on how the rest of the game goes, I might like this more as a one part of a greater whole.
All right, that's yeah, I agree a lot with that. I do think the first one had a slow start and it was kind of a slow burn until the second half. But I I think I said before, I do think that one's usually considered the scariest just because you don't exactly expect it.
No, and it was truly frightening. Like you can,
It
if you watch my streams of it, there's a very clear difference between the way I'm acting in the first second half and the second one. Or most of the time
yeah.
with the second one, I was like laughing at the parts that I think were supposed to be scary, but in the first one, I was legitimately frightened. I think part of it's also because I didn't realize that the game like reset with every chapter. Like I thought this was in the first chapter. I thought this was just all like this is what
I
happened.
know. Yeah, I was definitely holding it in not to tell you how the chapters work because I thought it would be like a too
Like
like
I was like, oh,
yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
Rena
How is this gonna
dies.
last? Rena?
At the end, I
Yeah.
genuinely thought, oh, from now on we're playing as a Wishi.
Yeah, yeah, you didn't really get it until like the extra stuff. You
Yeah.
started
So
explaining it.
that was also really cool. Although that's also like I don't know if I'd really like the first chapter as much upon replaying it, like rereading it, because I
Mm,
already know what's gonna happen. I'm not beholden to that. This is all permanent to the story, you know?
yeah. I actually have a take that like no Higurashi fan agrees with, and I don't know if this is like too early to ask you, but I think like the first chapter would be better without the prologue where Keiichi's like killing Rena. Just because I guess
Huh?
that
The
kind of
prologue?
like yeah, like the very
Oh yeah,
first
where he's hitting
prologue.
her with the bat. How do you mean?
Just because I think that like if you're going in completely blind, that kind of like I guess it didn't to
It
you
tells you.
exactly.
It tells you. Do you mean that? Sorry, keep going. I shouldn't
Yeah,
interrupt.
no, no, you're right. It does tell you that this is gonna be like it's gonna take like a darker side where I think
That's what I don't know if I would have stuck with it if I didn't know
okay,
that.
that's
The thing is, I think because they want everyone to keep playing it, right?
yeah that's the
When I saw it, I didn't think he was literally hitting her. I thought it was like a metaphorical thing,
yeah
you know. So my thought process was like, oh, you know, because I didn't think this would take a horror element. I didn't think he'd be fighting his friends off with a bat. So I thought it was like, oh, he just won't forgive her no matter how much she asks, and that is akin to physically harming her, right? So it didn't give me the full weight or the full realization of the bigger picture, but it gave me enough information to know the games wasn't all that it was, right? Like there was more to it. Not that the games were bad, with the slice of life stuff is bad. It's just it gives me a reason to keep going, even as it gets a bit like, okay, I get it, you know.
yeah, yeah, that's definitely the response I get the most. I do agree that I guess like the viewers need that hook to get into it. I was
Yeah.
like
Although maybe I'll beat the other chapters and be like, yeah, fuck that part, you know.
yeah, no, no, I mean I was just like thinking like I feel like it would like have a because I guess it didn't like hit for you, but I know for like a couple people and myself included, like reading into this, I know, okay, at one point Teacher's gonna kill someone. I just
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
really didn't. I saw it fully as being a metaphorical beating. I
yeah,
didn't see it as being literal in any way because it was a dream sequence. That's it. Like,
yeah, and that definitely strengthens that intro. Because like my main argument is that like if you know someone's gonna die or at some point Teacher's gonna be driven to kill someone, I thought that like it's kind of like the
yeah, I
curiosity
can
of
see if yeah, if you do take it. Sorry, it's like the yeah,
yeah, no, I was gonna say it's like with that knowledge, it's like the curiosity of how do you end up in that scenario, and without it, it's more like what's gonna happen. And I think just with this whole paranoia POV, I thought the what's gonna happen's more
yeah,
entertaining.
that is true. If I had viewed it as a literal sequence, I would probably agree with you.
Yeah.
But my reading experience was different than that. But if I had seen it as literal, I think you would have been right. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, I always say this take like once every like every couple months in a Higurashi video, and I always like end up in like a paragraph response session to like
Yeah.
a new
No,
chatter.
I think your point makes sense. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Ferris Over took it literally. My dad took it literally too. So
Your dad played Higurashi?
no, I asked him to like watch it because he's
Oh.
like once every like 5 years he's like, can I get an anime to watch? And I recommend him something, and then he's like, yeah, I watched episode one. It was kind of trash, and then he just
Did you watch
doesn't isn't
Gunbuster?
interested.
Didn't watch Gunbuster.
I don't. I actually don't think he would like it. Actually, I
Really?
mean, he liked
I mean,
sci-fi, but I don't think he like really cares about old
you got
animation stuff.
you gotta tell him, Dad, come on, listen. Episode one, every episode is wildly different.
Yeah, that is true. Um, anyways, yeah, that's Jack's thoughts on well, and I was gonna ask this actually too about character development. Obviously, we got introduced to the new character in Shion. What is your thoughts on
Ooh,
her?
I like her a lot. For a moment, she made me question, like, oh, is she my new fit? I really liked her. I thought she was really funny. I liked how she acted as a foil to Mion and gave us greater
Mm,
insight into Mion, while at the same time acting as a character all of her own with her relationship to Keiichi.
yeah.
Um, they do leave it up in the air by the end, I guess, as to whether it was Shion or Mion in a lot of the situations, which I was not a fan of, since most of Mion's appearances would have been before that point, right? And so it doesn't give us a great read on her personality. I know she was, pretending to be someone else during that time, but I think it's also important to remember that would still give us an idea of who she is. So I would really, I know that it's going to reset again, so we'll never find out. But I would have liked to see it confirmed which one was which, instead of leaving it up to interpretation. But
Well,
yeah,
luckily for you, like I said, there are answer arts, and chapter 5 is Watanagashi's answer art, so you will get those questions answered.
okay, so
But
I
so you
see now.
so you don't
Okay,
so you don't like the what the who did it at the end?
the who did it? What? No, I
Uh,
don't like the at the beginning. How
oh, like
oh, was it Shion or Mion who explained this to me? Was it Shion or Mion who um fought the protesters? Right, that sort of thing. Not the
oh,
protesters. Mion or Shion who stopped the thugs. Like that was like, the end
okay.
part was fine. The praying part was good. I like that part. That one was cool. I like that question. I don't like the earlier stuff.
That's interesting. I feel like a lot of people like they call it like Mion spotting or I guess Shion spotting. Like
I'm sure
just
people would like it if they were like, "Oh, but
ooh,
like I don't like, "Ooh, which
ooh.
one's which?" Ooh, like analyzing it, but I don't care.
Okay, okay.
Like, from what I can read into it, it depends on who was talking on the phone, I guess. Which one is which in each situation, because they question Keiichi like, "Oh, did Mion tell you that? Oh, did Shion tell you that?" But
Mm-hmm.
I guess my opinion will be fully formed later in the game. The story's not over yet.
Yeah. But if I were to like ask you like who was who for like general like for scenes, you wouldn't like have a
I would. Oh, no, I have an idea. I would for
okay.
sure.
Okay, well, I'll ask that after. I just so you like Shion, and obviously you said there was development in some characters. Like, do you like any characters more or less than before?
I like Oishi a lot more now. I like Rena more.
Mm-hmm.
I like Mion a bit less.
Less. Really?
Yeah, gonna be honest. Like we got more insight into her.
Mm-hmm.
But like also like I don't know. I found her motivation sort of lacking in my interest sort of way. Like, okay, she has this burden of history in her family, and therefore she's driven to kill, but also because there's this evil within her that seems to exist within a good number of people from Hinamizawa that forces her to act, right? So perhaps my issue with it is that I just found her reason for murdering all those people to be lacking from a I'm interested in this or I can like sympathize with it standpoint, especially because Keiichi seemed to sympathize so much with her, and I was
That
just
that
like,
that that is true. That is true. Especially like when he's like walking through the dungeon and Mion's just like, oh yeah, Rita and Satoko's corpse. I threw them in a well, and then like Teacher's like monologuing in his head. Oh, but
yeah.
Mion's my best friend ever.
No,
It is a
no,
little
the
silly.
part, the part that I hated the most was when she was like, "Oh, I threw him in a well. Sorry," and he was like, "If she didn't put that sorry at the end there, I would have socked her in the face." And I was like, "Dude, the sorry was the worst part." He
Uh,
was so casually sad.
well, yeah. It was a little silly for sure. But we'll dive deeper into
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
motivation
sure.
talk for sure.
Perhaps Mion will be like next chapter. I'll be like, "Whoa," or like however many chapters. But right now, I'm like, eh. Also,
Uh,
she was like evil in this chapter. She was, which is fine. But yeah, I don't know.
okay. Okay. What about like I don't know. What about the other characters like Teichi, Rita, or Satoko? I know Satoko
Uh,
basically got like nothing.
oh, Satoko got nothing. I feel a little worse for Satoko. Like I felt bad for her last time, but now I feel like a little bit worse for her.
Yeah,
um,
yeah. You learn a little bit more of her
that's
past.
literally all I can say about her. Um, is she less or more annoying? Kind of the same. I don't actually find her that annoying. I just like to make fun of her, I guess.
Yeah.
Rika, I find really interesting in this one. They add a lot to her mystery. Why does she have the vial? What does she know about Hinamizawa? What's up with that cat dog thing? That was crazy.
Hmm.
Um, that I find intriguing. I've had my suspicions of Rena since not Rena, Rika since the beginning, and they're only becoming more legitimate. I feel as it's going on. I think there's something going on with Rika. It started as a joke, but now I really do think she's something going on with her. Although she did die to Mion. I'll get into that later
Yeah,
though.
she did that.
Yeah. Then Rena I like a lot more. In the first chapter, she very much feels like a high school girl, like, and I don't mean that like in like I mean like she's very naive, and she's very it's a very basic look at her character, but I like how this one had her act as a very mature figure for both Keiichi and Mion, and I found that really interesting. Her emotional maturity and her social skills and her analytical mind, which you wouldn't expect her to have, obviously, but she does. I found that be quite an endearing trait, I guess, for her. Um, Oishi, mega based. Um, I like him a lot more. Again, I like that he in the first chapter he's suspicious, but he's not like it seems like he's always trying to act within Keiichi's best interest. Whereas this one does show that does make explicit his willingness to use Keiichi and even Rena as bait for his greater plans. Obviously, he does not wish for their deaths to come, but he is willing to maybe not sacrifice, but endanger them for the sake of his cause, which I found interesting.
Yeah, yeah, because especially like in the last chapter, like him and Keiichi actually had like sort of like a partnership going on, where in this one like Keiichi kind of rejected him more, so they didn't like really form this like team. Like I guess he was more like Team Rena. So I guess you can see like it can also kind of show like how Oishi like sort of like treats his like allies versus his like I don't know how to say it, like pawns. It's maybe
Yeah,
that's a
his
little
pawns.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a clear difference. Although I do think Oishi, when he's being honest, he does lie. He does lie, but like I think that he does mostly tell the truth when he's actually stating facts. I think I could be
Hmm.
wrong because there was a point where he did lie. He said, "Keiichi, I told you everything I can," but it turned out that he had not yet told him about Shion going missing a few days prior. So he does lie, but I don't know if he lies when he talks about the facts of the case. That remains to be seen, or maybe was seen. I forgot about it, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say even for the Shion thing, I think it's possible that like since he assumed Keiichi already knew that Tomitake and Tatano like died, he would already know about Shion disappearing. Like it might have
Yeah,
actually just been like a oversight.
that is true. It could have been an oversight.
Anyways, okay, just some okay, yeah, some character development.
And Takano,
Tatano, yeah, she was
she's a
definitely a
character now.
character this time, yeah.
What is she? You know that they left that up to a mystery at the end.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe she's a ghost. Maybe she's
yeah.
a corpse that they were puppeteering.
We will get to that. That's a spicy one. Um, I just like any other like the general stuff
Yeah,
about the art before we like go into like
oh.
question stuff.
Um, I liked. I was expecting those two kids like that to like come full circle at some point. The two kids he worked with, I was expecting like something to happen with them. Nothing. Like
What?
even Rika and Satoko died. I was like, oh, maybe they'll like cry to Keiichi, or they'll say like, oh, you didn't fulfill your promise. Nothing. They just never appeared again.
I mean, they could have cried. There was kids who cried in the
Well,
classroom.
yeah, I know, but I thought they would like come back in some way. But no, nothing.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's weird that they gave them sprites because they weren't sprited characters in the original game. I don't know. They just wanted to put like
I think
some
it's
respect to their name.
yeah. Yeah, unlike Kuma, who did not deserve it clearly, or the principal, or his parents, all of whom appear more than them.
Yeah, yeah, but you do learn that one of the kids, Tomita, does own a tofu shop, so he's kind of balling.
That's true. Maybe he has something to do with the murder of Rika and Satoko. They were making tofu.
And his name is Tomita. That's two letter. Wait, no, it's not. Okay, never mind. I
The
miscounted.
he,
But-
it's an anagram for director if you ignore most of the letters.
Yeah, I was trying to do Tomataki, but it didn't work.
Uh,
Tomita into Tomataki. Oh.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, okay. So we got a general.
Maybe it's only talking. It's Somina and the other guy, like on each other's shoulders in a skin suit. That's why
Ew.
there's no record of
True, true. The true villains. Okay, let's go into like the more mystery aspects now. So
them.
unlike the first game where it was um a big question between people and curse, this one definitely felt more to the people side until I guess like the end where they where all that stuff happened.
I disagree.
You
I
disagree.
No, the thing about because it made no goddamn sense if you thought about it from the people perspective. Because why was Rena acting this way?
What do you mean?
She acted as though she knew nothing of what Mion was doing or the murders. But if it was
Yes.
people, then she certainly took part in them. We saw that she not only knew what happened to Tomitake in the first chapter, but also she understood what transferring was and all that other stuff. So I think that from the very beginning, like it did not make me think, oh, it's probably people, because it, and they said this in the cast review, it doesn't make sense that the Sonozakis would be in charge, like especially given that in the first chapter there's clearly someone above Mion who's acting, who they refer to as the director, and if it's the Sonozakis, I guess that would be Oreo. But
Yeah.
in chapter 2, it stated that Mion killed Oreo. Not that she killed her, but that she was dead and threw her down the well.
True, but like I guess when you think of the people theory and it wouldn't make sense the Sonozakis are in charge, it does like state that they basically are in charge of the village. So
Oh
you like,
yes,
yeah.
I know, but this is based on what happened in the previous chapter. So as I was reading this, I continuously thought, well, that doesn't make any sense given what we saw last chapter,
Mm,
right? Especially when Rena went to Oishi. Like she like if she was taking part in this, she would have never done that. If she, right?
yeah, right.
I
So
Yeah, I don't know.
so do you think there's anything specific that made Rena act this way compared to the first chapter?
Mm, well, I don't know. I can think of, them speaking about a demon that lives within them. I remember at one point a line of dialogue stood out to me where Mia was going over the history of Hinamizawa. She
Mm,
spoke about how the children of the other villages or the outside of Hinamizawa, the people outside Hinamizawa, would disgrace them or whatever, and oftentimes would, if a child interacted with someone from Hinamizawa, would scrub them vigorously to get the disease off of them,
yeah.
right? Not dirtiness, but the disease specifically. Like that wording makes me think, because it can't have been that perhaps this curse or what's making these people act in this way is like some kind of disease that exists within Hinamizawa, genetic or otherwise, that causes them to be this way. I don't know what it would be, but like they don't remember what happened previously, but
Uh,
it's within them. Maybe, I'm not sure, because it is true in the little poem or whatever that happened during the Watanagashi in chapter 1. It speaks about how the woman speaking says like, "Oh, I never thought I could do violence, but in that moment an evil force," or whatever. I don't remember what it was exactly. I'm not even
yeah.
sure if I'm generalizing, but she didn't think of violence before that. So, assuming that's Rena speaking, she perhaps not in that moment, but or at some point during this year became part of this whole thing, right? Um, I didn't really answer your question at all there. Basically,
No.
what I'm saying is, basically what I'm saying is, what was your question again?
I think we started with is there any reason why Rena acted like she did in this chapter compared to last?
Oh yeah, I think it's because
And you,
Keiichi
oh,
didn't. My only thought, the only things I can think is possible is either A, the evil personality didn't take over, or B, the the because Keiichi, in my opinion, I was going to say this later, didn't do anything that was against the laws of Hinamizawa this chapter, she was never spurred to act. that, or depending on the timeline of the previous chapter, she never acted against Keiichi in that way, right? Like, so we just never saw it, but she still was doing like the stalking.
Okay, so she was still like, okay.
My only gripe with that is at one point Mion says Oyashiro-sama doesn't exist, but Mion is an avid believer in Oyashiro-sama. She truly believes in him wholeheartedly, but
Mion
she had no reaction to that statement, and that
Mion said
shocked
it?
me.
Sorry, who
Mion
said?
said it. Mion said there is no such thing as Oyashiro-sama, and Rena had no reaction to that statement, which she apparently avidly believes in it. Mion even warns us in that chapter, like in chapter one, hey, don't go saying, oh, you're sure someone doesn't exist. People here still believe in it, including Rena. Rena really believes in it, which is
Right.
weird. Like, why would she not react this time? I find that odd. Peculiar. I don't know what it could mean, but I did find
Okay.
that.
And it is just going back a bit. What were you saying about like a disease? Like,
I think there's some kind of because Mion said wiping off the disease from the children who played with the others from Hinamizawa or spoke to them or whatever. I think there's something because I there's something affecting how they act. I think that's clear enough. And at one point they talk about like multiple personalities. I don't think it's demons. Like maybe it is, um, but I still think it's a mixture of um, I still think it's a mixture of the supernatural and the human element. So perhaps a way they could get around that is like it's a disease affecting these people and causing their most vile feelings to take root and have them act in like vile ways or something like that, you know?
okay, and it just and Rena wasn't affected by it this time, I guess.
Uh,
Would be it.
Keiichi didn't do anything to affect Rena this time.
So you're saying what? It has to be triggered?
No, like she never felt a need to combat Keiichi or to attack him, right? Not that it wasn't triggered, but that those it only enhances the feelings that already exist. Rena didn't have these emotions for the disease to latch onto that specifically targeted Keiichi, but Mion did. Hence why in this one, Mion is brutally murdering all these people, right? Because
Uh,
she did have this feeling based on something small that happened with the doll that grew to this like she had this incredible overreaction because of the disease or something like that. That's my best bet right now on what happened.
and I guess if there's a disease, you don't think Oyashiro-sama exists then?
Oh, and the Oyashiro Sama definitely exists. Praise be. Um, no, I think he exists. Again, I think it's a supernatural and human element mixed together. So perhaps maybe Oyashiro Sama, the way he directs people is by giving them the disease or some shit. I don't know. Maybe there's some third thing I haven't thought of, but I think that Oyashiro Sama definitely exists. Like this chapter has convinced me that there's some kind of Oyashiro Sama figure in the village.
Yeah. So the curse is the disease that would activate when they're angry or feeling
It
resentful.
just it just the disease simply intensifies negative emotions or emotions of or it intensifies strong emotions. That's it.
I don't.
Like it doesn't activate at any time. It's like if you feel a negative emotion, it can take it can amplify that feeling for you that and therefore cause you to take extreme measures. I think I this isn't a great theory, but that's what I have.
I don't know. I'm just like putting it through the ringer, just because I'm thinking like, because like obviously again, once again, this is like an outlier to the normal curse murders, because like those don't really seem like because they're like they talk about in the extra extra section, how like clean those murders are compared to this one, which
Hmm.
I guess I would or could agree with you that like it does definitely just seem like a crime of like Mion does seem like really angry and stuff, like a crime of passion almost.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
how would that like do you think that like disease curse thing would correlate to the past murders where it seemed like really clean?
Yeah, I think it would, but what Shion did in this one was like the curse didn't work properly. Like it didn't work the way uh Oyashiro-sama, the director, would have typically used it to manipulate people, right? Like her actions went out of bounds of what he wanted and were unexpected.
And how does the disappearance factor of that would go in with this disease thing?
What disappearance? Sorry.
How, every year someone dies and someone disappears. How would that
I don't
like
know.
relate to it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
Again, I think the director like just tells people what to do based on those emotions. That's it. That's all I can think of. Like he usually takes advantage of the disease to get what he wants, but in this case, it was too extreme. Like it was too
So
in this case, what Mio did was not what he expected, and he did not act under his orders or within the framework that he typically has people act when like this. I think this is especially true because at the end, Mion, when she's like a ghost or whatever, and she stabs Keiichi, she's like, ha ha ha, they've almost got me. Something is going after her and trying to catch her in some way, you know?
so you're saying like while Mion did do these murders under this heightened state of resentment, she was initially ordered by someone to do it?
Uh, I'm saying that typically when this sort of stuff happens,
They
it's
receive an
done.
order.
They receive an order, but maybe Mion initially got orders, but then just started acting really wildly, killing just whoever she wanted to, or maybe in this case, like she just started acting because it is true, not the same amount of people died, right?
Yeah, that is true.
It was, and by that I mean like two people died, and if the disappearances were all being thrown down the well throughout the entire time, this time like what, four people disappeared plus Keiichi and Shion eventually. I find that unlikely, you know. So
Yeah.
that means that in this specific scenario, only two people were killed by the curse, Tomitake and Takano, neither of whom the police ever said had any direct connection to what Mio did. And every single other death in this, the old man guy, I forgot his Kimiyoshi, Satoko, Rika, eventually Shion, or what Shion was, I guess not eventually Shion because Shion was thrown off a bridge or whatever building. Uh, they were killed by Mio. Shion wasn't because we don't know what happened with her. But yeah,
Okay, so you're saying that so Mion might not have been involved with Tomitaki and Tatsuno's death?
yes,
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
Who knows?
I get the picture now, at least for that. So basically, there's something that could be a disease or something that heightens their resentment. The director orders them. They, and that's basically the crime. That's,
Basically,
yeah, that's the
that's my
framework.
general idea. Saying it out loud makes it sound a lot. Does not really fit together at all. But you know what? Whatever.
And the director
I'm
is
on chapter two,
and the director is Oyashiro-sama, right?
or somebody.
Or
Maybe it's
somebody.
not. Maybe Oyashiro-sama in it. They say that Oyashiro-sama is the one who decides who's killed and who's eaten. They say who's eaten in the Watanagashi. So perhaps, um, so that's why I think it's Oyashiro-sama. But it could not be. Maybe Oyashiro-sama is some kind of divine entity who doesn't want this stuff to happen, and he's blameless in all of this. I don't know his life.
Okay. Okay, that's yeah, that's something. Um
Okay.
More stuff. I guess another sort of supernatural happening in this arc was when the four of them entered the ritual storehouse, and Tomitake and Shion claimed to hear like a banging or something, while um Keiichi did not, and at least Takano didn't seem to. She didn't say she did. Do you have any idea? I know you've had some
Oh,
opinions on this,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. Uh, Takano and Keiichi are both not residents of Hinamizawa. They were not like of the ancestry or whatever. They didn't hear it, or supposedly Takano didn't hear it. Shion and Tomitake did. Shion is a Sonosaki, uh, and Tomitake is we don't know his background.
Yeah.
Perhaps he is or isn't Hinamizawa. That's why they heard it. The other two didn't because they're not of Hinamizawa, and so they don't have the ability to hear it for whatever reason.
And like what do you think it was, or what was its purpose?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess it could have been Oyashi. It could have been Rika jumping up and down on the roof in her astral projection form,
Right,
telling them
right.
not to do it.
Okay.
I have no idea. It could also just be I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
All
Also,
right.
Shion saw like a thing at
Yeah.
the top of the yeah, and that I think I'm sure Tomitake was in there. He would have also seen it, but I have no idea what it could be. I have no idea what the meaning could be. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. What else? Rika with a needle. Why did she have a needle in her pocket when they found her corpse?
I have no idea. Okay, obviously the needle is the needle. Supposedly, is the needle that contains insulin for her diabetes. Uh, Big shocking twist there. Um, Obviously, it's the needle that they used at the end of chapter one to try and kill Keiichi. We don't know if he actually got injected with it or not. Or try to do something to Keiichi. They tried to inject him with it in chapter one.
So it's the same substance, basically.
Probably, yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, it would have held the same substance.
Uh,
Um, I
and
don't know how she got it. Perhaps she is the director and she like holds all of them. That doesn't make any sense though. It could be that maybe I don't know how she would have gotten it. She could have been out to disappear slash murder someone that night. Maybe she's the one who injected it into Tomitake, assuming that what happened to Tomitake, like the reason he clawed out his throat was because he was injected with it, which I have my doubts about that. Um, and yeah, that's all I can think of. Or the thing about her like going through the timelines, and it's the same one that was behind the clock in chapter one. That's also possible
right,
that she's
yeah,
like in a superposition throughout all the chapters.
true. Just holding it in the pocket.
Yeah.
Um, okay, okay. How about okay? Uh, how about we go through like the Mion and Shion question? Like, do you have like a firm grasp of like when Mion was Shion, or if
I have an
Shion was Mion?
idea. I have an idea for sure.
How about like the first first meeting? What about the first meeting?
First meeting is the one I question the most. I guess I think it would be Shion.
Shion
Because
when
she
they
was
first met
working
with
it.
the
She
dad.
was work. She was working at Angel Mort. She
Hmm.
just didn't expect what was happening.
Okay.
Then I think Shion told Mion, "I met your friend Keiichi," or whatever, and Mion went and gave the lunch. Keiichi disguised as Shion.
Okay.
Then I think that
Next was the motorcycle kick with the delinquents, and then
I don't because I remember at one point one of them mentions the motor. I think that one was Mion. I
right.
don't like that idea because I don't like the idea that she somehow got there like before Keiichi and also changed her clothes. Like how what the fuck, you know? But yeah, sure. Um,
I mean,
then
just to interject, there was that like weird monologue by Keiichi when he was having a speech about Rena. Then it did like a Mion POV flashback where she was talking with Rena about that, how she wanted to like approach this situation as a different person.
hmm
Do you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I know
I'm
that.
just saying that.
Uh, then there was the time where she explained what happened in the me, at Angel Mora when they like described that was yeah, she
That
described
yeah, that was the same day as the
yeah,
motorcycle. Yeah,
that one I guess would be Mion.
I mean it would have to be whoever you think
No.
did the motorcycle thing, because after that,
My thought was it would have to be whoever was talking on the phone.
well, no, because
No,
the
whoever was no, whoever the other one than the one that was talking on the phone.
I mean,
Because when they were talking on the phone, he brings up all that happened, and the person on the phone goes, "Did Mion tell you that?" And he says, "Yeah, but it was Shion who told him, not Mion."
mm, okay, first off, like we talked about the motorcycle thing, but the scene where they're describing about what happened with the protests was like right after that, like after the
Yeah, well,
motorcycle thing,
maybe
they
they switched
went.
out in the bathroom or something.
Okay, okay.
They
And
tagged out.
and what you're talking about, the oh Mion told you that thing, that was actually like not over the phone. That was after the reveal they were two sisters, and during the festival setup where it was Shion and she was talking to you with Takano and
Oh,
Tomitake.
then I guess that's definitely Mion. It was definitely Mion. Pretending to be Shion in that scene then.
Or yeah, okay.
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
And that's the bigger question. The biggest question about the switching is after that, uh, when you start doing the later phone calls after the Watanagashi. And obviously, I guess that means
Yeah,
who was killing everyone.
I think the darkest interpretation of it is that it was like Shion wasn't working with Mion,
Mhm.
and Mion was making Shion talk to Keiichi over the phone. That would just
Okay.
be so fucked up, you know?
Yeah, that
Uh,
would be pretty
like she
bad.
was like, "Oh, I'll kill Keiichi if you reveal where you are." And so Shion, while in captivity with Mion, had to pretend everything was fine and talk to Keiichi because it would make it so sad when Keiichi like bursts out at Shion, it's just everything's her fault. I think it would make it so horrible.
Yeah, that's a pretty dreadful scenario.
I
Um,
mean, like the whole scenario thing is dreadful, but that just makes it even worse. So I guess that's the one that I subscribe to just because I think it's the most interesting. I don't know, but I don't think they were working together. Uh,
so basically, like even if it is Mion forcing Shion to talk through the phone, it would still be basically Mion communicating to Keiichi
no,
at that
because
time.
Shion's saying her own stuff, right? She's just pretending like everything's fine.
I
Like it's
know,
not
but
like
like
Mion gave her script. Like it is Shion on the phone and she's speaking. She just can't tell him everything, but she's like still giving him like you can go to the police or whatever sort of stuff.
wait, so Shion captured by Mion at this point, or
Yes, she is.
and
But like
Mion
it's not like
is
Mion
monitoring
didn't
the
give
conversation?
yeah, she's monitoring the conversation and forcing her to talk to Keiichi.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And like but Shion could say whatever she wants as long as she doesn't reveal certain things to Keiichi. But it's like to torture her, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. I get it. Um, but I guess that means you think I guess the greater question within that is that it was Mia, not Shion, who did all the killing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking like, oh, one or the other. Oh, wait, or maybe not. Ah, fuck, that's a great point. I didn't think of that. Because during one of the hints, it says, oh, one of the twins has a tattoo, right?
Yes.
But Takano's like, oh, well, anyways, it kind of implies like maybe Shion has the tattoo and is actually Mion.
What?
And I thought the scene where Mion is like taking off her clothes to show them the tattoo. I was like, oh, that deconfirms it, but maybe it is Shion pretending to be Mion. That would be crazy.
So you think
But
that
then
it's like a
again, why would Mion continue pretending to be Shion as it went on? That doesn't make any sense.
wait, wait. So you think like the whole tattoo showing thing was like a gambit by Shion?
No, what I'm saying is Shion. I think Shion. Originally, I had this little theory that Shion was the one with the tattoo, the person we call Shion, but she's in reality Mion. Like, okay, when they were kids, they were impossible to tell apart, right?
Yes.
And the grandma, as stated, couldn't tell them apart either, right? And sometimes mixed the two up.
Okay.
So what I thought was, oh, maybe they like at one point permanently switched places. So the one with the tattoo would become Shion, whereas the one without that tattoo would become Mion, and everybody would be none the wiser. Right? That's
Okay.
what I thought. So I thought my little theory was deconfirmed when Mion told them about the tattoo and was like getting ready to show them. I was like, oh, if she's ready to show them, then that must mean he he does have the tattoo, and that so Mion has the tattoo. But maybe the case was the person, Mion, who again in this little scenario is the one with the tattoo, imprisoned Mion and start pretending to be Mion, put on the little outfit, and she now had the tattoo, even though the Mion that we knew from most of the game that we called Mion was not the one with the tattoo. Yeah.
So the Mion Mino is Shion without the tattoo, is what you're saying, right? Or no?
Okay, this is really confusing. I
No,
believe that they switched places when they were younger,
yes. So she
and then
was originally Shion. She
yeah,
became
yeah, I think she was
Mion.
originally Shion and she became Mion.
So you think the Mion we know who was originally Shion does have the tattoo?
Does not have the tattoo. I think the one who was originally Shion doesn't have the tattoo, but switched with Mion. The one that we know is Shion, but was originally Mion, has the tattoo.
Uh, I guess I'm just one like s- so the one we know that Shion has the tattoo is what you're saying, right?
Yes, the one that we know is Shion.
But like uh why is she Shion if she has the tattoo? Because having the tattoo
They
means you're
switched
Mion.
places. They switched places. So nobody could distinguish the two of them, right?
Yes, yes.
So what they did was they started saying, oh, they switched places, right? Started wearing different clothing and stuff. So the one with the tattoo became Shion, the one that's not the heir, and the one without the tattoo became Mion, the one who is the heir, and everybody would be none the wiser.
I but it's I guess I'm just like one because like
But I think Shion
how much
speak
does
on.
that like okay, sorry, I'm having a hard time like because like Yeah, so you're saying they switched after Mion got the tattoo, right?
Yes, yes. They never really explained when she got the tattoo, but it would have been after Mion got the tattoo.
Like, how would she keep it like a secret?
Yeah, because they're wearing clothes all the time. Like, who would ever see her naked body? Nobody. Nobody would ever know.
Okay, it's interesting, I guess. All right, we're okay. Wait, no, just transition smoothly. Okay, so going with that theory, I do understand what you're saying. So you're saying the Mion we know is Shion from birth who switched identities, and she does not actually have the tattoo that would confirm her to be Mion.
Yeah.
And I guess how would this affect what happened or the story?
Um. I don't know.
Like,
Maybe
how
maybe
did
switch
you
places.
how do you get to this? How did you even like get to this?
Okay, so the whole fucking chapter seems to be which one's Mion and which one's Shion, right? And at one point in the game, they say this one has a tattoo, this one doesn't have a tattoo. And
Hmm.
Takano's like in her journals, or whoever journals this is, probably
Yes.
Takano,
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, I think it's quite curious, which one's which. I would like to see the tattoo," and it made me suspicious. Like, oh, maybe from the very beginning, like, oh, maybe Mion has no tattoo. So I just think it's like a possibility. Like, it could totally be that the whole time they were two different people. Why else would they make a point of saying that the grandma couldn't tell them apart? I don't like how would this affect the story? I guess it would be because the true heir to the Zonozaki family would therefore be the person we know as Shino, and therefore she's the one that should have been burdened with all this history, but instead it was the Mion we know.
Okay. Yeah. So in the end, whether she's Shion or Mion, it was still the Mion we know who did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. They will bring back that tattoo stuff in chapter 5, so that'll
I'm sure.
clear that. It'll be interesting. Um all right. What else is there? I guess let's just get into the big meaty questions of who stabbed Keiichi and or how or what happened there, basically.
Oh, I think it was Mion's like ghost or something. I don't fucking know. Um,
Okay.
like basically at the end, uh, like she says like somebody's after her. They certainly found a body at the bottom of the well,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's some kind of I don't know what it could possibly be. I guess I think it's a ghost. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about the idea that in the extra section, where they're talking about this, Shion claims that the only person who could have done it is Shion, who was rescued because she looks like Mion. Do you not have like any suspicion that that person just
No,
dressed up
no,
as Mion?
because Takano was also a ghost.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that afterwards.
Yeah, like it's like okay, so there were two ghosts. Yeah, sure. Like, what does Takano also have a twin that looks exactly like her?
So,
Like,
so
and one of them was boiled alive, burned alive, and one of them was cooked, and then one of them wasn't. No, it's a ghost.
okay, yeah, and like especially with Takano's death, that means she would have been like dead before she was burnt, right?
Yeah.
Just she would. I guess like so so basically you don't really like have any ideas of how those two appeared when they're supposedly dead already?
No clue. Somebody was after Mion. That's all I can think of.
Mm, okay.
Like they said, oh, they're almost, they're like they're fall. She was running from something. Uh, that's it. Like that's all I can think of.
Yeah, yeah.
Really and
There's
truly.
it's
And like the thing is, Shion wouldn't have been running from anyone. Like I know she was crazy, but like she wouldn't have been because the Yakuza guy didn't realize she was gone. Then he was the only one who had been watching her, right? He also would have known if she ran away that night.
yeah, he said he heard them fighting, so he thought it wasn't
So I don't have any idea of like what it could be, but I don't think it's I don't think it was Shion as Mion. I think it was Mion's ghost or some kind of apparition that looked like Mion. It was yeah, it was probably or something to do with Mion. That's what I think it was.
okay, okay. I mean, it's an interesting mix. You got some ghosts, some diseases, some gods. It's a little crazy in Hinamizawa.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a big question, but obviously I can't say anything to it. I remember when I like first read the chapter, my crazy Takano theory, which one of my I'm pretty proud of it, even though I'll just spoil. It's not right. Like the first time you meet Takano is like in the first one, you don't actually see her sprite. So my theory was that like maybe the Takano we meet and talk to isn't actually the real Takano, and that's why they like hit her sprite. Um, but no, it's not true.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was
It's funny. I um that is a it's a not as good as the tattoo theory, but
a tattoo theory.
but yeah, no, that is a good one. I wouldn't have thought of that. Like I don't I like that question that was posed at the end.
Yeah, it's the big
I
question.
think was really just a hook for the next chapter because I don't unless there's some crazy shit I did not notice. I don't see how you could figure anything out based on what happened on this chapter as it pertains to the ghost stuff or the syringe.
It it's definitely not a hook. I feel like out of all the mysteries, that's the one
That's the easiest one.
not the
Fuck.
easiest one, but it's kind of solvable maybe. The syringe stuff is a little harder.
Really, it's solvable.
It's like the big question of Watanagashi, and then the next game didn't come out for like 2 years, so people were just like thinking about it a lot during
Oh,
that
so they
time.
figured it out. Okay. I don't. I really
But
don't know what it could possibly be. Like I have nothing. I don't have like okay like she died before we went into the storehouse.
mhm.
Uh, uh, she was a hologram. Like literally, how do you figure that out? Like,
I'm not telling you to figure it out. I'm just saying like that's like one of the big questions that will be answered obviously, but yeah, just posing it.
it would be crazy if they just didn't.
Yeah.
It's never answered how that happened. It's obvious, isn't it? How did people figure that out? Like, I guess maybe
I
if I go back and read through both again, I might be like, oh, like
I don't
how
I don't know how many people figured it out, but I'm just saying like it was like
if it is like
during the waiting period, it was definitely like one of the biggest things people did a lot of theory crafting for. Because back in the day too, when I was reading this, I was like kind of autistic and like wrote a freaking document on it. So,
right.
yeah. So, but
Mm.
it's a hard one
Because
for
I
sure.
have literally nothing. I have nothing.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single thing that like, oh, that's why they appear after their deaths.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
I mean,
like
yeah,
I'm really seeking like to my memories of what happened. Like nothing at all.
they are always a very fun question. It is like a staple of who done it mysteries, the
Oh, the
the
staple of
time of
whodunit
death.
mysteries.
Who done it?
Oh, he died 2 days ago, but she appeared as a ghost and she attacked you with a knife. How'd that happen?
Yeah, yeah. Time of death stuff it's always fun for sure.
Yeah, I guess.
Um,
Oh, by
I
the way,
yeah.
Fair Silver asked something
Did he?
a while ago. Do you think Shion went to school before Mion? No, they're
What?
twins, so I am of the belief that they entered school at the same year.
I mean, that's a fair one. They did go to different schools though. To at least to Shion's not coming to Hinamizawa school. At least at this time.
Yeah, they go to different schools, but they entered school same time,
Yeah,
different schools.
yeah.
Maybe in
That's
elementary school and kindergarten it was the same school. I don't know their lives.
yeah for sure. They're definitely separated. At least they kind of delved into that Mion's living with the grandmother and Hinamizawa's there, where Shion's with all the
Oh yeah.
yakuzas.
I also forgot to mention maybe Shion and Mion are working together because I remembered Mion had a line where she was like, "Do you consider your right and left hand to get along?" Which kind of makes it out as though they're both merely parts of a larger body that's acting. So maybe Mion and Shion are working together. That's I don't like that idea, but that statement certainly means something.
Okay.
It's too vague to be a red herring. I think.
I guess another mini question that I just remembered about the ending stuff. Obviously, like Keiichi was about to be tortured in the dungeon thing, and then Shion's like, "Oh, I'll let you live, but I gotta kill Shion, and I won't give Mion back her body because I'm a demon." Um, I guess why do you think that that Shion like Mion didn't kill Shion?
Well, she did eventually.
I
She
know,
pushed her
but
off the building.
that's
But
true.
my question is, why did she try to kill Keiichi?
Mm,
I think it's because Keiichi approached Shion. Um, Mion Keiichi approached Mion.
yeah.
Mion could only protect Keiichi, like her last little bit of will, I guess, or something. As far as not approaching him. But
Hmm.
because Keiichi approached her, she was able to attack him. That's what I think. Like she did kill Shion,
Yeah.
but she was only able to kill Keiichi because he went up to her, which she told him not to.
Okay. And I guess this
Try
is
to kill
like
Keiichi. She failed, obviously,
she
but
yeah she failed. Um, I guess like another big one that Rika proposes in the extra is despite entering the storehouse this chapter, why is Keiichi like always targeted? Because he didn't
was he
exactly
targeted this
take
time? Okay, my thing is for this one, I don't think Keiichi was targeted this time.
no.
No, I think.
I mean he was
I don't think
stabbed.
because last time I think it was the director who
Hmm.
did everything. This time, I don't think he had anything to do with it. So he wasn't targeted. It was two different forces in each game. That's it.
Okay.
I don't think he was a target of anything this time around. I think that he was merely a target of Mion, but not of this
Yes.
grander conspiracy. I think that these incidents, to that degree, are unrelated.
Okay, that's going off there. Then why do you think Takano and Tomitake were targeted?
I have no idea why. Because they were targeted last time too.
Yes.
Um, it could be something. And the thing is, Takano supposedly died before she ever entered the storehouse.
That is true.
So it's for some other reason, probably. Maybe Takano and Tomitake were targeted because they were mean
Yeah.
to someone. I don't know. I don't know why. We okay, so maybe maybe the director is a bird and they both obviously as we all know are bird photography enthusiasts and the
Yes.
birds felt like their privacy was being invaded, and so they murdered them both brutally. Solid possibility. I think a better question
Okay.
uh, is why was Takano not disappeared this time, but instead like just straight up murdered? You know, because Mia, the board games are
Mion is not bad at board games.
Oh yeah, did I say board games? I kind
No,
of read
no,
that comment and started thinking about this.
no, no. Yeah, yeah.
um, I sorry, people watching this. Uh, okay, sorry. Oh yeah, why was she cooked alive this time? What differed that made it so that she wasn't disappeared, but instead murdered alongside Tomitake?
Hmm.
Again, for this one, I'm not really sure. It would probably have to be something that happened prior to the Watanagashi, though, not on the night of. Or maybe this time, what changed on the night of the Watanagashi was that um, Shion and Keiichi went with them into the storehouse. And that's why the body was found instead of being disappeared because they decided, oh, there's more to be done. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
That
Right.
is true. It did say at one point, Rena said in the last chapter, I think, that at one point Mion was always losing at board games. I remember that.
Yeah. Or I think just club games in general. But yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
She,
sure board games are part of it. Uh
actually,
Mysterious.
they're not. Because
Uh
during the
well
game
not
tournament,
oh
Teichi
yeah.
commented that since it was just a game of luck when he was playing live, he was like, "Oh, this is why Mion never does board games because it's luck
That's
based."
true. You're right, actually. I'm a fool and a clown.
You
Fuck.
know, my memory is amazing.
It
Um,
really is.
okay, I think those are like the big questions in this one. I guess Rita said I guess going to the Rita talk. Rita said she was gonna protect Keiichi, um, and he shouldn't do anything. D- Do you think she did anything, or like maybe if Teichi didn't do anything, he would have been fine or something? Like, what's up with that whole talk?
Um I don't know, man. The cat and dog metaphor was crazy.
Yeah.
I also forgot to mention part of the reason I think that Mion wasn't acting with the director is because Rika described her as a cat and
Yes.
not as a dog.
That. Yeah.
Um, but I really like. Did Rika do anything to help Keiichi? I don't think so, or at the very least, not that much. It was the night she died was the night that he told her, and she also said, hey, "Listen, if a dog comes to bite you, tell me," which to me implies it would have been a much longer game than just uh this night, you know.
Mm.
And plus, did Keiichi keep on meowing like he was supposed to?
Nope.
No, he talked to Shion directly after. So he didn't really follow her advice. I just don't think there was enough time for Rika to do anything. Perhaps she planned and prepared to do something though, and maybe that's why she had the syringe. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Okay. Okay. And I guess another question is like why do you think Kimiyoshi and Rika were targeted? Do you think it's because of the lock thing?
That's what Mion said.
Yes.
And why wouldn't I believe her? Um,
So you think that was like her motivation? She was doing it
yeah, no,
because
because I think at the very least Mion was convinced of it. I don't think she was lying in that part. She was convinced that what she was doing was because of that. I think that's why Rika and Kimiyoshi were targeted. Rika even said, "I don't know why Kimiyoshi was targeted." Assumedly, Rika is one of the dogs. So she was like, the dogs didn't decide that. I don't know why the dogs bit her. Rika assumed the dogs attacked Kimiyoshi when in reality it was one of the cats being Mion.
okay. And I
Plus,
guess
it has to also be a dog. She was working with the director in the last chapter. But maybe something happened that made Mion a cat, or maybe she's a cat now and she was a dog. I don't know.
and I guess that with that sentiment in your mind, you do believe that Mion caused all these murders because of what she said and how it's like her responsibility and a mixture of her hating Shion. Or yeah, Shion.
Yeah, it was. I think that the root of it was the feelings of resentment from when Keiichi didn't give her the doll.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it was like what she said about like the history of it. Like that was a convenient excuse for her to let out these emotions with murder, because at the end of the day, she didn't need to torture Shion like that. She simply did it because she wanted to, you know, and because it satis- satisfied a sadistic part of her.
Okay, okay. Okay. That's that's pretty much all the major questions. I guess do you, like I asked before, do you have like any additional theories that you want to talk about first?
I guess. Let me go through it. Oh, maybe Obishi is a member of the Curry cult, like Chie, and it's like two factions at war.
Hmm.
Between the Oyashiro followers, Oyashiro-sama, and the Curry people. That's definitely a possibility. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah.
Um, um, I find it odd that Mion said Satoko is cursed, and that it's her fault Rika
Yes.
died because didn't you murder both of them?
Yeah, I guess that was a weird scene, the latter scene before where
Yeah, so
Mian
that makes the
just freaked
question.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe she didn't have anything to do with Rika's death. It doesn't really make sense because then why would Rika be in the well? But I guess the director could have done planted all that evidence himself. Who knows?
I mean, she
Um,
also she also said she killed Rika when they were talking
yeah,
to
but
Keiichi.
remember, this is just me throwing stuff out there. Like she followed the director in the last chapter.
Right.
She was with him. Like that's my thing. Like these people were all working with him last time, so it doesn't make sense that this time they'd be working against him, right? um,
Right.
like why is Mion a cat when last time she was clearly one of the dogs? I don't know.
Or what if she was always a cat and never a dog? Just to reverse that logic, if it doesn't make sense the other way.
It doesn't make sense the other way either because Keiichi's also a cat and he's not working with the director. So then so what? Is he also working with? Maybe he is. Oh shit! Because Oyashiro-san was always with him. Oh my gosh! Maybe the cats work with Oyashiro-sama and the dogs don't. That would be crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely taking the cat and dog metaphor to the next level.
Dude, I am every theory I have from now on is gonna like everything is gonna come back to the cat dog metaphor. I'm gonna live by it.
Oh man.
Next chapter, I'm gonna bring it up. Yeah,
Okay.
cat and
That
dog supremacy.
cat dog. Um that's pretty much it for my interrogation. I think this session was very bountiful with some interesting theories. Um you definitely got some hot and some cold ones for sure without
I have some cold ones. Impossible. They were all fire. I'm gonna play the rest of this again, and they're all gonna be exactly right.
um yeah, they were interesting for sure. But yeah, you will get the answers in like a couple months, it does. So next route we have the Satoko route, otherwise known as Tatara Doroshi, aka the Curse Killing Chapter. And despite your hatred for Satoko, this is actually considered by a lot of people, not actually me, um, their favorite arc. So
Yeah,
we shall
I'm sure
see
they're all a bunch of sickos.
we shall see if Satoko stocks rise during this arc. Because if they don't rise now, I don't think they ever will.
They never will. She goes back to being a background character to the rest of the story. This is her one. This is her one thing where she gets to do stuff.
Yeah.
Even the answer arc for this one, she's barely in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's finally Satoko's time to shine.
So it's so weird, by the way. Rika doesn't have a chapter, huh? At least in the original plan she did. I wonder why.
Yeah. I would even say the bonus chapter. I mean I can't really say.
But it's a bonus. If it So Rika doesn't have a chapter. Curious. Perhaps my very first theory was the most correct. Of course, they're all correct, but you know.
Yeah, true. Um we shall see. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Satoko chapter next should be fun. Thanks for coming again, Jack. Yes, fair server. This is now you're blind too. Perfect.
Didn't he get to like halfway through chapter 3 or something?
He said he got part way through, but I don't know
Partway
the
through?
exact. I don't exactly know exactly.
Oh, you don't know exactly, huh?
Yeah, how would
Curious.
I? How would I?
Guessing.
But yeah. Anyways, that's it. Good sesh. See you next time. Bye. Also, like, comment, video. Yeah. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Yep. Okay. There we go.
Say bye.